Hi witches, blessed be. This is WhiteRaven over here. Today is Monday, so happy Magic Monday to all of you guys. How are you witches? Welcome to another Magic Monday. Super excited to be here today. Super happy to be sharing this very important video with you guys. It has been a request. And it's a video that I already did, and I have a couple of videos on this topic on this channel, but I understand there's a new people in the channel and maybe I need to repeat these things and, you know, refresh this video, maybe add on important things. And it's a very good topic of conversation. There's a lot of witches out there and there's a lot of videos out there on this, but if you want to hear it from me, here it is. And this is going to be a video on telltale signs for when you're cursed. Before I go into the videos, I always want to welcome everybody that is new. If this information has made a difference in your life somehow, if this is something that you enjoy, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. I am here every Monday and sometimes more in between, teaching you witchcraft, what it is to be a witch. And I tell everybody I want to be for you what I wish I had when I started my path. It's really hard to get guidance when you want to start doing witchcraft. There's so much stuff that you need to understand and learn, and you don't even know where to start. So if you need some help, stick around. I will love to have you subscribe. Witches, thank you so much for all the support on the video last week on the curse that I did for someone. Stop trying to guess who I'm doing this spell for. No matter, right? What matters is that I teach you something new, and I know based on your inboxes, emails, and comments, I know some of you guys really appreciate me sharing that spell with you. I'm happy to help you. This is what I'm here for. Please make sure to act responsibly if you're doing any type of curse or whenever you're doing such type of magic. Remember, you need to be justified. Otherwise, you know, your spell may come back and bite you in the butt. You really don't want that. It could be really bad if you do that. There's a lot of confusion as well out there. A lot of people have a lot of way of thinking things, and this is why I did the other video the other day on Friday night about toxic positivity in witchcraft. Thank you again for the support on that video. It was received very well. And yes, I took the comments out because I don't want a debate in the channel. But go ahead and watch those two videos if you're new so you know what I'm talking about. After I did the spell last week, many of you guys asked me about, wait, Raven, so how do I know if I'm being cursed? How do I know if I'm hexed? And again, this is something that I have addressed before, and there's 1,000 videos out there with this answer for you, but I want you to hear from me one more time. I prepared this video for you. I'm not only going to tell you the signs, very basic signs that tells you that you're being under the influence of a curse, but also how to protect yourself. And also I'm going to share with you at the end of the video a spell to reverse the hex. So please stick around and watch this video through. It's important information. Before I go into these 10 signs that I'm going to share with you, there's a few things that I want to address and I want to discuss. The worst curse that you can have ever in your life is the one that you put upon yourself by thinking that you are cursed. So it's very important that before you go into that conclusion, you make sure that you are indeed cursed and then do the things that you have to do. The second thing that I want to tell you is please don't be influenced by the things that I'm going to tell you in this video, and be smart enough to discern if you are going through a rough patch, because life happens. Life is not bubbles in pink colors, or if you are indeed being hexed or cursed. The next thing I'm going to tell you, do not be a spiritual hypochondriac. There's a lot of people out there that blame everything that happens to them to being hexed. And you know what? A lot of the times we are our own victims, right? Because we act, we do things, and then we don't want to think about consequences. So before you think that you are cursed, make sure that you check your own actions. You know, because sometimes we are the victim of our own wrongdoings. Now, you're in this situation in which you think you are hexed. Ask yourself these 3 questions. Do you deserve to be cursed? You have been an evil person, you have done wrong to other people, and you have to be honest with you, which is, okay, look at your life. Have you acted wrong towards someone sometime in your life? You have to be dead straight and honest with yourself. Number 2, is there a person out there that you think wants to curse you? Somebody that covets what you have, somebody that envies you, somebody that wants your job, somebody that wants your man. I mean, there's many reasons for somebody to curse you. And number 3, does that person that you think is cursing you actually have the resources, the knowledge, the connections to do a hex on you? Not everybody out there is hexing people. There's a lot of people out there so afraid to hex people. I mean, right now, every time I share a hex, everybody's trembling. Oh, that's so bad, right? So ask yourself those questions. If you answer yes to the 3 of them or a couple of them, then let's go into some of the telltale signs that you are cursed. I'm going to share 10 with you. So let's start with number 1. The first thing that you are going to feel is you feeling off. Straight. You wake up one day and it's just the day doesn't seem the same. You're going to have anxiety. You're going to have a guilt trip. You're always going to feel like you're guilty of doing something. You're doubting yourself. You have paranoia. You feel like somebody's watching you and you can get down straight depressed. So those are signs that you wake up one day and the day just feels off. Watch out. Number 2, weird things. Let me give you some example of these weird things. One of the things that is most common, a classic, is glass breaking. I've been doing my hair, which is when a vase next to me completely exploded without me touching it or anybody touching it, just simply exploded. Many witches believe that glass absorbs bad energy thrown at you. So if you get a lot of glass breaking at home, things falling out of your hands or things just simply breaking, pay attention, witches. That is a sign. Another signs, backflow, toilets overflowing, gray water, black water. That is a very dangerous sign, which is pay attention if that happens to you. Another sign, infestation of bugs, particularly the ugly ones. I'm talking about flies. I am talking about maggots. I am talking about cockroaches. And yes, you may see a cockroach here and there, but there are things that are out of the norm. You want to pay attention to that. Another thing that is when somebody's throwing something really heavy at you, animals dying around you. Like you're driving and suddenly a bird just crashes against your windshield, or you're sitting in your living room watching TV and a bird just flies into your window and just dies. You want to pay attention to those type of things because they're not normal. And let me make a parenthesis. It is a combination of things, okay? Which is, so don't think that because this happens to you, like you're driving and a bird flew to you, something bad is coming your way. Not necessarily. Things like that happen, okay? I'm just saying, pay attention if you get a combination of the things that I'm going to tell you in here today. Another example of weird things is obviously things going bump in the night. Not necessarily night, but you're home and things starts falling, or at nighttime you hear weird noises. And let's be frank, our houses make noises at night. When everything is very quiet and the temperature fluctuates, you get your wood expands, your piping starts making noises. But you know the sounds that your house make. Just make sure that if you hear something out of the norm, that's when you want to pay attention, which is it's very important. Number 3, communication problems. And when I say communication problems, it has to do with any type of communication. From your phone, your loved ones, at work, to strangers in the street. You suddenly go grocery shopping and you see yourself bickering with somebody that you don't know over bananas. You know what I'm saying? Things like that just do not happen on a regular basis to you. If you're a fighter and you're always fighting with everybody, well, that's different, right? I have some warriors out there. I have some street warriors out there. But if this is not your temperament, and this is not your personality, and suddenly you see yourself arguing with somebody over a stupid thing like a parking space, a bananas, chicken, whatever it is, you may want to watch out because these are very strange signs and they're very common when you are being under the influence of a curse. Number 4, a terrible run of bad luck. And I'm just not saying that something just bad happened to you today. I'm just telling you there's thing after thing after thing after thing, particularly money-wise. So suddenly you get a bill out of nowhere. You owe someone something and you're like, what? When did I ever get this ticket that I owe now $300? I never had this ticket anywhere. Or you get a bill from the IRS, or you get a bill from somewhere. Or on the opposite, you're supposed to receive money and it just doesn't come. You lose your credit card, or your credit card get hacked and somebody hacks your bank account. Somebody takes your social security and go party with it. Those are things that are going to happen to you. To that, you add car problems. You add all the different things that pertain to you having bad luck, but together, everything together on steroids. That's a big sign of you being cursed, and you really have to take action if something like that starts happening to you. Number 5, missing things. Your car keys are missing, your phone is missing, glasses are missing, things that you need right away, things that are very important to you. If you put your keys in your kitchen in the little hook and suddenly they're not there, where are your keys? And on top of that, you go to unplug your phone from the cord and it's not there where you put it every night. What's going on? Missing important things, missing documents from work that are super important for your job. Things like that, missing things. Not necessarily silly things, but important things that are missing. Number 6, pay attention to this. Minor illnesses. Now let me tell you something, which is if you hit number 6 already, you're not paying attention. Minor illnesses. Things that you get when you are under the influence of a curse, of curses coming your way. Headaches, oh my God, headaches, pressure in your head, ear aches, stomach aches, you get a cold. And in my particular case, one of the most definitive signs of me being cursed, rashes. Now, if you go outside and you rub yourself again, poison ivy, that's different, right? But you have things missing. If you have anxiety, weird things are going around you, and on top of that, you get rashes on you, a cold, headaches, earaches, which is you letting this go too far. Let me tell you. Number 7, and this is when things start getting really heavy, sleep disorders. Now, if you are in number 7, which is you need to get on it right away. You're going to be completely sleepless. Or the opposite, you're going to fall asleep and you're going to have nightmares, night sweats, waking up in the middle of the night, scared, sleep paralysis. You need to pay attention to this because this is not a game anymore. If you hit number 7 here, it's serious and you need to pay attention. Number 8, electronic malfunctions. Is Google telling you weird things? Is Alexa waking you up in the middle of the night? Let me tell you something, which is Google and Alexa, they're always listening. We already know this. Electronics around us are always listening. But, sometimes they come out with the weather. Like Google, without you asking, is going to tell you the weather. It's like, who's asking you, Google? Alexa sometimes are playing songs, but some other time, which is, these are not normal noises that Google or Alexa are going to be making. So you need to pay attention to any electronic malfunctioning, lights flickering. And then you also have to discern, right? Because sometimes we get our lights flickering, but when it's normal and it's not normal. The light that is always flickering in your house. The light that is about to go off, right? Which is, and when it's not normal. So you have to pay attention to things like that. If lights turn on in the middle of the night, why? Why? Who did that? If your TV come on and off, that's just not normal, it's just period not normal. If you get fuses blowing up, your electrics blow up, your microwave, your toaster, things like that. That's very strange. If you get weird pictures in your phone, and things like that happen. You grab your phone and suddenly you see weird pictures in your phone. It's like, I didn't take this picture. Or to the opposite, you take a picture and it's just come out really weird. So you have to pay attention to those things, which is, if you hit number 8, if you're here with me in number 8, I'm really concerned about you. Number 9, and this when things start to materialize. Smells. Smells are scary, which is when you have smells, it's heavy what you have around you. So if you smell of rot, if you smell of smoke, usually in my particular case, I either will smell rot or wet dirt. Cemetery smell. Also, that plastic flowers, the smell they get when they're in the cemetery under the sun really, really hard. I smell that. It smells like earth that has been removed. Yeah, I smell that. I think that's one of my clairs. I get smells. I can smell things. If you're getting hexed by something really heavy and this things is kind of like materializing, like somebody sends you a spirit, somebody sending you an entity to terrorize you, yeah, you have it. It's really close by. Also pay attention to smells that you don't like. Discern if because sometimes, you know, your dead ones that love you like to visit you, and sometimes you can smell their perfume. So don't think that's a hex. Maybe it's just somebody that loves you that is coming to say hi. But if these are smells that you really are repulsed by, please pay attention to that, because that's a big telltale sign. Number 10, and the last one, if you hit this, you need help. And these are going to be flat out apparition witches. You're going to see shadow people, you're going to see ghosts, you're going to see just figures, you're going to see just stuff. And if you hit number 10, you definitely are being hexed. There is no doubt to me, if you have a combination of these things, and on top of that you got number 10, run for help. You need some help, you need some assistance. And listen, you can do this yourself. I'm going to give you some guidelines on how to protect yourself. So listen up. It's always good to get your divination tools and ask your cards, for example. That's what I use myself. Maybe you have some other type of divination tools that you prefer, but it's always good to ask your divination tools as well if you're being cursed, because sometimes we start getting these things in our heads, and you know, when in doubt and you think you're just thinking this, get your divination tools, get your tarot deck and ask your card. You do a spread and you ask your cards if you're being hexed or cursed, and if you are, your cards are going to do one of two things. Number one, the message that they're going to give you makes absolutely no sense. It's gibberish. It is just, you can't understand it. They're not clear. They're just not telling you anything. They're blocked. There is not an interaction between you and your cards. Or not very good cards are going to start showing in your spreads. And let me give you some examples of these cards. And let's start with the major arcana. If you get the moon card, that is the card of hex being done on you. There's no doubt that's it. If you get the moon, start preparing. Do what you gotta do, because there's a curse coming your way. You get death card, you get the tower card, you get the devil's card. Those are cards that are not necessarily bad when you're reading, but when you're asking if you're being hexed, and cards like that or a combination of those arcanas come into your spread, pay attention, because they're telling you that you may be getting hexed. On the minor arcanas, I do not like any of the cards on the suit of swords. Well, many of them I really don't like. If you get that dreadful 3 of swords, that pierce heart, think about that a little bit. If you get 7 of swords, be vigilant, witches. If you get the 8 of swords, be vigilant, witches. If you get the 9 of swords, that's the card of nightmares, be very vigilant. And if you get the 10 of swords, which is probably the most horrendous card in the entire deck of tarot cards, prepare and start. It's war, okay? So be very vigilant. So what things can you do to avoid getting cursed? I want to tell you something. If you're a witch and you are married to another witch, or your boyfriend, girlfriend, partner is a witch, or somebody that works with magic, chances are that whatever is sent to that person, you're also going to receive. When you are intimate with somebody, and when you share your living space with somebody else and your life with somebody else, undoubtedly your energy and his or her energy is going to mingle. Me and my husband, we have the same energy running around. So whatever is thrown at him, chances are I'm going to get it. And whatever I get, chances are he may get. So if you're with somebody that is heavily work, trust me when I tell you, you'll feel the wrath that person is getting. So be very mindful about that too. So if you are with somebody that is also a witch, make sure that both of you guys communicate about these things, and you guys have that very clear. If you feel like you're being worked, tell your partner, right? And your partner should tell you, hey, WhiteRaven, I think I'm being worked, so let's work on protection. Okay, so that's something very important that I want you guys to know. But what are the things that you can do in order to stay protected from curses and hexes, witches? There's a magnificent book that I have shared with you many times, and we have studied this book in depth, and that is the book book from Jason Miller, Reversal and Protection Magic. I suggest for you that when you finish this video, you go ahead and you buy that book. I'm going to put the link in the description of the video where you can get it. It's a must. You need to have this book. If one of those books that I recommend to everybody is going to be Jason Miller's Reversal and Protection Magic. It's really important. We discuss it and check the videos that I put in here about 2 years ago on that book. I'll link them also in the description of the video. This is some prevention that Jason Miller speaks about in his book. The first thing is, which is personal protection. You have to learn how to protect yourself. And when we talk about personal protection, we're going to be talking about shields that you're going to have, that you're going to prepare and visualize. Cleansing and protection bath. You should do that at least once a week, which is prevention. Amulets, talisman, charms, things that you want to have with you. I mean, I have so many things. Things that you want to have with you at all times to protect yourself. That is personal protection. Home protection. It's not just you, but also the place that you dwell. For example, you can do floor washes once a week, the same way you clean your house. Clean your house spiritually from magic. So floor washes, floor sweeps, incense, powders, dust, salt. And when I talk about powder, dust, salt, I'm talking about salt, black salt. I have a fantastic black salt infused with silver for entities that you can put outside. You can put red brick powder, ochre. You can put cascarilla. You can put bluing around your house. You can put bluing squares in water and make sigils in your windows, in places that you need protection. Those are the powders. Cemetery dirt from a soldier cemetery or a police tomb. Make sure that you follow the protocols before you pick up this dirt. Do not be disrespectful because you're going to make matters worse. Also mirrors, witches. Make sure you have mirrors. Make sure you have gargoyles. Make sure you have decoys. A good example of a decoy is a witch's bottle. Witch's bottle is there to absorb things that are thrown at you and to protect you. Also, I share with you sprite traps. There's a lot of traps that you can put out there. There's videos in my channel that pertains to all this. I'm going to try to put everything in the description of the video. Number 3, spirit guardians. And this is the most important thing, which is you need to have help and protectors in the other side. Make sure that you have your altar. Make sure that you dedicate at least one day of the week to your ancestors, to your spirits, to your guides, to your protectors, to your guardian angels. Make sure you have that connection. You need spirits in the other side protecting you. Those are the first ones that are going to be doing the battle for you. But make sure that you have them and you have communication with them and you have good interactions with them. It is so important, witches. So now that we have discussed all these things, let's go ahead and let's do this ritual to send back a curse that's been sent to you. This ritual is from the amazing book of Jason Miller, Reversal and Protection Magic. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, witches, to do your reversal spell, we're going to need just a few simple things. Number 1, your intentions. The feeling that you're being cursed and the feeling of you wanting to send this curse back into the evildoer that is cursing you. If you have a picture of the person that is cursing you, best. If you do not know the name of whoever it is that is cursing you, this is what you're going to write in your paper. Those who do me harm. For this particular spell, I'm going to be using my reversal oil. I have this in my website. If you want it, it's ready for you. Jason Miller also have his recipe in his book, so if you want the book, do the one the recipe, or you can go to my website and get it. You are going to put, which is 4 drops in every corner of this, on the picture or in the parchment. You want to put 4 drops of the reversal oil. Now, we're going to need a candle that is 2 colors. It's white and it's black. The white is going to symbolize clearing of all the curse. The black is going to symbolize sending this curse back. If you do not have a 2-color candle, witches, you can cut a black one and a white one and melt them one on top of the other. Once the white one melts, make sure to light up the side of the black one. So we have the paper in the bottom, we have our candle, we're going to put it horizontally with the bottom looking at you. And we are going to anoint this candle with the reversal oil. From the bottom of the candle to the top, you want to anoint the candle, okay? You want to transmit what you want, which is you want to make sure that this candle burns your hex away and back from you to the evildoer. Let's light our candle, witches. And this is the chant that you're going to chant while this candle is burning. Shadow, hear my call to thee. Pitiful, hate-filled enemy, be malignant if you will, for I am more malignant still. I turn you over, Hecate, to send the curse back to thee, damning you as the wax burns down, committing your power to the ground. Now, witches, you're going to let this candle burn all the way down. If you are doing 2 candles together, make sure when it hit the black one, you light the black side as well. The idea is for you to dedicate this candle to any deity that is helping you, particularly any deity that belongs to the underground. If you do not work with Hecate and you don't want to work with Hecate, use any deity of your choosing. Just make sure that you dedicate this candle to a deity or spirit or ancestor to help you. Once this candle is completely consumed, you're going to bury this in a 3-corner crossroad. If you do not find that, because I understand it's kind of hard for a lot of people, you want to go and bury this in the cemetery, but not in a tomb. You want to bury this in the cemetery ground. If again, that is something that is hard for you to do, then please make sure to bury this far away from you. The whole representation of you burying this is a symbolic way for you to give this curse that somebody has done to you into the spirits of the underworld so they can take it from you and deliver it back to the sun. And that's it, witches. As you can see, you have to pay a lot of attention because sometimes you get very obvious signs that you have been cursed. On the same token, make sure that you're not a spiritual hypochondriac. Not everything that happens to you is because you are cursed. Thank you so very much for being with me yet another Monday. If this information is something that you really appreciate, please subscribe to this channel. If this served you in some way, if this helped you in some way, stick around. I will love to have you. If you have any questions, email me, layerofthewitch@yahoo.com, which is I do not work for people. You already know that, but I have to repeat myself. I am also in Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook. And witches, I have a website with a lot of products for protection. Go visit me, WhiteRavenandWitchesLair.com. I am there all the time and I have a lot of new stuff ready for you. Thank you to everybody that has been supporting my business. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Check out Jason Miller's book, because remember, witches, in this life, if you want to stay ahead, witches, you need to be ahead of the game all the time. And the only way that you can do that is by being very smart. You got to learn, because knowledge is power. But if you have that knowledge, you know what? You also have to stay so very wicked. Bye.